Puka Nakua is back. Cooper Kupp is back. The LA Rams, oh, we're back. This was the LA Rams side that many of us wanted to see and expected to see coming into this NFL season. And unfortunately, just right from the first game, the injuries absolutely derailed the side's campaign. They were 1-4. They lost Cooper Kupp in the first game. They lost Puka Nakua in the first game. Their offensive line got ripped to shreds. Now we're getting healthy, and now we're becoming a problem. This is the second win on the bounce, and this 10-point win over the Minnesota Vikings was instrumental to this entire season. It felt like so much rode on whether the Rams were able to get a win in this game. All week long, there's been trade talks about, will Cooper Kupp be moved on? Will Matthew Stafford be traded to the Minnesota Vikings, who we played today? How will that all play off? And the Rams said, fuck yous, we're going to go and win because that's who we are. And it was a sight to see. The first quarter was just, the first 4 drives of the entire game were just touchdowns on both sides. Both offenses just looked on point. From the word go, minute 1, Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson just ripped apart the Rams safeties and cornerbacks, and that whole secondary just ripped them apart, exploited the middle of the field, and just got into rhythm to get those first 2 touchdowns. Rams on the same side of the ball, Kyren Williams was knocking it down the throat, just running rags around the defense of the Minnesota Vikings. Puka Nakua just looked as though he hadn't missed a beat, barring the one drop he had, the very first reception he got. Gets it caught between his leg, drops it. Bit of rust. That was the only rust showed for the entire game. He was then on point driving up the field. He just instantly looked in the swing of things, making plays, getting yards after the catch, and just running over people, blocking as well, which is a massive thing the Rams have missed, is how good their wide receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua are when blocking downfield for the likes of Kyren Williams running through, or when the receivers get the ball and can make plays. That's a big aspect that's been missed, and it's funny how it works. All of a sudden, the Rams get their 2 best receivers in the side, and their offense is flowing again. And Matthew Stafford showed why so many Rams fans think he's underrated and were against the idea of trading him. And you're never going to get back what his value is. And with Stafford in this side and Sean McVay at the helm, the Rams can be real players come the playoffs and this season. And so it was just a sight to see. I loved every second of watching it. The way the team was able to, they got carved early on the defensive side of the ball, and the way they were able to then adjust coming into the second quarter, and especially the second half. Let up 14 points in the first quarter. After that, only conceded 6 points, and for the rest of the game, I thought it was a phenomenal effort. You had Jared Verse on the defensive line getting 1.5 sacks, other half going to Michael Hoyt, and it was excellent. Jared Verse has had an outstanding start to the season in his rookie year as well. I think he definitely should be up there if he can continue this form for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think he's been phenomenal, and the secondary was able to work it out. You could definitely see that the middle linebacker area is still the weakness of the Rams defense. There's no hiding that, and it's tough to see that as a Rams fan when we traded away Ernest Jones for basically nothing, and now he's being moved again, and we're going to have to see him come up against him next week in Seattle. And so that's going to be tough, because he definitely would be excellent in this defense with the full team striving. But overall, it was all about the offense, I think, in this game, and put up 30 points. Yeah, as I say, Kyren went for 96 yards, I think, overall. Let me just double check. 97 yards on the ground, and he also got 19 in the receiving game, which were off those screens. I thought he looked excellent. Just the way he runs with the ball, he's just always able to get a few extra yards than what you initially think. He can just keep those legs pushing, knocking people down, and he's not a big running back either. I mean, you look at what Derrick Henry's doing in Baltimore. It's not that you expect it because he is a freak and just unbelievable what he's able to do, how fast he is at that size. But he is so big that when he can run through people, it's not as surprising as when a Kyron Williams is able to do it and keep pushing. And that motor he's got is outstanding. He once again gets a touchdown, which is his 5th game in a row. He's just always there, always reliable for the Rams offense. Cooper Kupp gets a touchdown on one of the best plays of the entire season. I mean, how Matthew Stafford managed to got out of the pocket, looks like he's going to be sacked from behind, just escapes away, then looks another man in front, ducks under it, skips out, wide open Cooper Kupp. His first catch since returning is a touchdown, 9 and dime, back again, and that play was incredible. It showed just why Matthew Stafford should be a Hall of Famer. He's now 9th all-time in completions. He just passed Dan Marino, and just the ability to find angles and make things work. I mean, in this game, he threw for 279 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw the 1 pick, and that was the only time he really slipped up. There was 1 throw, he overthrew it from the receiver. Other than that, it was just a near flawless game. I thought it just showed exactly the level and quality player he really is and why he's so underrated. And just the arm angles that he was able to throw with. The one, I believe he threw it to Kobe Parkinson, where he just waits, just arm to the side, just shortstop, flicking it over to second base almost, just darts it in to get the first down, was phenomenal. A big turning point in this match, I think, was in the second quarter when there were, I think, 3 or 4 occasions in that quarter alone where the Rams got to 3rd down and then Minnesota would just give up a flag, automatic first down, whether it was holding or pass interference. They were just so, what's the word I'm looking for? Undisciplined. They were just so undisciplined in that quarter, and it really gave the Rams some momentum to keep going. And that, I really felt, was where the turning point was. And the Rams not giving up too many flags. That were the occasional. I was worried in the first half because there were a couple of times when we had to take timeouts because it was that or a delay of game penalty. They just didn't seem to be able to get into their plays quick enough and get the ball snapped in time, which was a shame and has been one of the few criticisms, I think, of the Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford era, is that they haven't, that comes up somewhat frequently. And I think we saw it in the playoffs last year against Detroit. That was definitely an issue there. And so it's something they'll need to continue to work on. Thankfully, it didn't cost us in this game, which was nice to see. But I think that's something they definitely have to think about and continue to work on for those moments. It was tough as well because you've got a rookie center who's the backup in place. That's always going to make it a bit more difficult. So the sooner Steve Avila and Jonah Jackson can come back, the better. The O-line in general, I thought, played really well. I mean, gave up no sacks in this game, which was great. They just, across the board, really were all able to hold it down. Alec Jackson at left tackle, I thought, since he's come back from his injury, because he's also been out, the O-line in general has looked way better, and I think he's been a big contributing factor to that as well. So that was excellent to see how they were able to do it. But yeah, the biggest kind of thing from this was just Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua being back and how vital they are to the Rams' success this year. Because when you're able to have so much faith in the passing game, and you've got the likes of Puka and Cooper Kupp to target, defenses have to worry about that. You can't leave a Cooper Kupp Triple Crown winner, even though he's had his injury issues and isn't maybe that exact player. You can't leave him open. And to be fair, he'll get himself open. He's an outstanding route runner. Same with Puka. Like, you can't leave him alone. He'll go up and he'll make those contested plays. He'll get the yards after the catch as well to really be a threat. You've got to make sure you're worried about them. And so then not only does Matthew Stafford benefit from that, but then Kyron Williams in the run game, the play action plays, that you're able to get more from them because there's the more considerations for the defense to worry about. Previously this season, the issue has kind of been that pretty much if you could stop Kyron Williams, you'd be all right. I mean, there's not many wide receivers in the Rams lineup outside of Kupp and Puka that you have to dedicate so much time for. I mean, Demarcus Robinson had 2 touchdowns in this game, I believe, and just got his ability to find the end zone. I mean, when the Rams won 7 of the last 8 games to make the playoffs last year after a 3-6 start, he was instrumental in that. He just constantly would pop up for a touchdown and was outstanding. The contested catch he had in this game when there was actually the flag for pass interference, and he fought through it, caught the ball, got to the end zone. That was excellent because it provided another threat for Stafford to throw to. Same as Tutu Atwell. Didn't play as much, even though he's been the Rams' number 1 receiver this season. He's led them in yards. He popped up a couple of times in the second half. He came out more, and then he had there was the one play where he just motioned over to the left side and just absolutely beat the corner back for pace, and Matthew Stafford just slightly underthrew it, or threw it more so slightly late, because I think he was scanning the right side of the field first, so didn't quite see him in time, and just by the time the ball got to Tutu, who'd burst away from the cornerback was just able to get a hand in there and break it up. But you just saw the kind of threat that it had there, because Kupp and Puka Nakua won't necessarily beat you with their pace in a game, but more their route running and their physical abilities. So when you then can throw in a Tutu Atwell for a couple of plays and get him to burn down the field, it's just another thing defenses have to worry about, and another threat, because Matthew Stafford, I would back him 8 times out of 10 to make that throw and get a touchdown there, which is just the threats when the Rams are fully fit are unbelievable. So now they're 3-4. They're a game back from the lead in the NFC West as well, which is big because after being 1-4, they looked out of it. They're now 3-4, a game back from Seattle. They play Seattle next week, coming off the mini bye, so they've now got 10 days as well to rest up, make sure Cooper Kupp and Puka Nakua are fit and everyone's rested, and then go again with a lot more at stake. And after the run they went on last year, they've not quite got themselves in a hole as big as that, which is good. So if they can go to 4-4, get a share of that lead in the NFC West, and then kick on from there, they'll definitely be some team to worry about in the NFC come the playoffs. Also, I obviously got to address that last play, the safety at the end of the Vikings' final drive that held them up. The face mask 100% should have been called. It was clear it was there. I don't think anyone can deny that it should have been called. The argument that that's what cost the Vikings the game is ridiculous. That's not what it definitely didn't. They would have been on probably their own 20, maybe, with like a minute 20 left, no timeouts, in an 8-point hole. It was already going to be difficult for them to come back. And I mean, with Justin Jefferson, you always got a chance. That's fair. But it just, you can't say this is what cost them. I would be looking at all the fouls. If I'm the Vikings fan, I'm looking at all the fouls and all the flags that we caused, rather than that one missed one. Is it frustrating for them? 100%, but mistakes happen, and you can't say that was the one thing that cost, because there's too much work after that to be done. Other shout out to Sean McVay as well. Became the head coach with the most wins in Rams franchise history, which is amazing. He is one of the best coaches in the world of any sport, in my opinion. I think he's just so, his ability to recite plays and know the game inside and out, he's clearly such a great tactician, but also just the way he speaks and how he can motivate players. He's both the tactician and the man motivator, where you just want to run through a brick wall for him. So it was outstanding, and to do that on his son's first birthday as well, such a great moment for him. And I saw a stat as well that he's only the second head coach since like the 70s, I think, to reach 80 wins for a franchise before he turned 40, and the other one was John Madden, which it's a very specific stat. There's a lot of requirements to meet there, but to still be in a conversation, if it's just you and John Madden as a coach in the NFL, you've probably done pretty well. And he's the last person, if I'm the Rams, I would trade every player before we get rid of him. And so it's great to see him get to that number one spot, and hopefully there's many more to come, and yeah, we can knock on a few more. But all the attention turns to Seattle now, and hopefully the Rams can get a win. But let me know in the comments below what you thought of this game. How did you think it played out? Who impressed you the most? And if you're a Rams fan, how do you think the season can end up? Where do you think we'll go from here? And even if you're not a Rams fan, what did you think of the game? And how do you think the Rams will go? Are there concerns for the Vikings at all after such a good start? Now they've slipped up a bit, or is it just one of the situations where they're just coming back to the middle of the pack, but they'll be able to rebound? Let me know what you think about all that below. Also, be sure to like the video as well. That'd be greatly appreciated, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification bell as well so you don't miss any future videos. Have stuff, as I said, got videos about the NBA, Premier League going on as well, and now the NFL. And so all happening, so you won't want to miss any of that. And also let me know what videos you want to see from me in the future, what you think, what you want me to discuss. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. But other than that, we'll let you go for today. I hope you have a good rest of your day.